Good morning to all. I am Indu, lecturer in civil engineering. Today also we will learn another new topic that is methods of recording field notes in Compass survey. So how can we record the field notes in a Compass survey? So the topic we will discuss today. Before starting this topic, I can recall the topics which we have covered in last class so that we can go to this topic. After that we can go to this topic. In previous class, we have discussed some problems on calculations of magnetic declination. By using that, how can we calculate the magnetic bearing, true bearings and magnetic bearings? We saw problem on that, and also we discussed about local attraction. When the sum has been given in that means when bearings have been given in quadrantal bearing, that quadrantal bearing will be converted into WCB, and then how can we make the corrections for the local attracted stations, that also we have discussed in last class. And also we have discussed about another important topic, that is field records, field procedure. Field procedure also we have discussed how can we do the field work in the field. So in that we have some topics, that is for that in the field, first of all we have to do what we have to do. We have to check where the instrument has been set up. That means recognitions of area. With our naked eye, we can see some features. We can make sure the uh, instrument placement, that is stations have been selected, and also we have to draw some index sketch. After that we have to make the markings of the stations. So the that one that is recognitions of the area. After that we have to do temporary adjustments of the instruments. What do you mean by temporary adjustments? How can we do temporary adjustments? In temporary adjustments, what we have to uh, do the adjustments. So the topic also we have discussed. Temporary adjustments means the adjustments which we have to do at the station itself. That is temporary adjustments. In that we have to do the adjustments like centering, leveling, and adjustments of the prism. So that has to be done in the temporary adjustments. After that, field recording, that is measurements of the traverse legs and offsets. These details have been taken. So that is the field work. So after that field work, how can we note the field data in the field book or in the observations? The topic we will discuss today. Hope you all understood yesterday's topics. Is it okay to you? Okay, right. Then we will go to the today's topic, that is methods of recording field notes in Compass survey. So what we will do in Compass surveying, we will learn today. So on completion of this period, you would be able to explain methods of recording field notes in Compass survey. So in last class, we have discussed operations involved in the field work in Compass surveying, that is the recognitions of the area, temporary adjustments, the recording of the bearings and measurements of the traverse legs, and taking offsets. Do you know what do you mean by traverse? I already explained so many times. Traverse is a connected series of straight lines, each line joining 2 points on the ground. So the traverse may be a closed traverse like this one, or open traverse like this one. What measurements do you take in compass traverse? Linear measurements or angular measurements? You are taking linear measurements and angular measurements in compass survey. Identify these objects. Where do you use these objects? Do you use these objects for measuring the distances on the ground? This is these are the scales. We are not using this one, so we are using this one in the plotting. On the ground, we are using tapes and chains to take the linear measurements. Which instruments do you use for linear measurements on the ground is tape and uh, chain we will use in the ground to take the linear measurements, you know already. And this is the protractor. So we are using protractor on the, in the case of plotting, we are not using on the ground this one. So to take the angular measurements, we are using these instruments called prismatic compass. That is the compass. So which instruments do you use for angular measurements in the field is compass. So now explain methods of recording field notes. So this is our today's topic. In case of compass survey, angular and linear measurements are taken, you know already. So angular measurements will be taken by using compass and linear measurements will be taken by using chain and tape. Let an area is bounded by stations A, B, C, D, E, etc. 5 stations are there in a of field or in an area. So that area will be bounded by these stations. A compass is centered over station A and is leveled properly. So now we are going into the field work. So we can assume this is as a field. In that field, the area. So this area is bounded by these stations A, B, C, D, E. These are the stations. So we have to take the angular measurements, that is the bearings on each station, from each stations. So first of all, we are placing the compass at A station. After the after the placement, we have to level it. You know how can we level? After leveling, the forebearing of AB and back bearing of EA are taken by sighting the ranging rods held at station B and E respectively. So from each station, we will take two bearings. One is the forebearing of the preceding line and back bearing of the previous, next line. So we have to take two lines from one station. So now first we kept our station, we kept our compass at A. From A, what are the bearings we will take? From A, forebearing of A and B. What is the next station? B station. So A, B station forebearing have been taken and back bearing of the station EA. So from A station, we are taking two bearings, that is forebearing of AB line and back bearing of EA line from A station. So the line is, how can we take that one? So by placing the ranging rods at station B, we are taking forebearing of AB line, and by placing the ranging rod at E station, we are taking back bearing of EA line. Back bearing of EA line have been taken from station A. Okay. After taking this forebearing and back bearing of the lines, you can enter it into the table. The line is chained and the reading is entered in the table. These readings are entered in the table as shown in the next slide. Okay, so this is the table 1. So here we have to write the lines. What are the lines? Line AB, BC, CD, DE, and EA. These are the 5 lines. So first we have kept our compass at A, and we have taken forebearing of AB line and back bearing of EA line. So you have to enter in that one, and also you have to enter at what distance the station. What is the distance between the station A and B? Also you have to write here. So AB, the distance is 78 meters, and the forebearing of AB is 191 degrees 30 minutes, and the back bearing of EA, which is taken from A station, is 53 degrees 30 minutes. So these are the two forebearings and back bearings of the lines which are taken from the A stations are entered in the table. Then next we have to shift our instrument to next station. What is the next station? Our next station is B station. Then we will shift the station to the B station. Details of offsets are entered in chain survey field book on either side of the line AB as shown in next slide. So you can enter the. So this is field book. It's not showing. I don't know why. So you know the field book of chain survey, double line, single line. So in that you can note the all details of offsets. Offset details will be noted in the chain survey field book on other side of the chain. Okay. Then after that, the next after station A, you can shift your instrument to the station B. Next station. Next station is the B. You can shift the instrument to the B, and then you can level at that place B station. After leveling, you can take the four bearing of what are the bearings we are taking. We will take from B station. There is also two bearings. One is fore bearing of BC, another one is back bearing of AB. From station B, we will take two bearings, that is fore bearing of BC line and back bearing of AB line are taken by sighting the ranging rods which is held at A and C and A. So by placing our ranging rod at C, we will take the fore bearing of BC. And by placing the ranging rod at station A, we can take the bearing, that is the back bearing of AB from station B. So these are the two bearings we take from station B. That is fore bearing of forward lines and back bearing of preceding line. So that will be taken from the from B station. So BC, fore bearing of BC and back bearing of AB has been taken from the station B. The line is shined and the reading is entered in the table. These readings are entered in the table as shown in next slide. So the distance between the station B and C is 100 meters, and the fore bearing of BC is 69 degrees 30 minutes taken from B station, and back bearing of AB, that is 13 degrees 0 minutes that is taken from station B, has been entered in the table. Then after that, you can shift the instrument to the next station. After B station, what is the next station? C station. So you can shift your instruments to the C station. After shifting, you can level it. You can center it and level it. After centering and leveling, the fore bearing of CD and the back bearing of DC are taken by sighting the ranging rods held at D station and B station respectively. After centering and leveling, we will take two bearings, that is fore bearing of the forward line, that is CD line, fore bearing of CD line, and back bearing of the previous line, that is BC line. Back bearing of the BC line has been taken from the station C. By sighting the ranging rods at D. By placing the ranging rod at D, we are taking fore bearing of CD line, and by placing the ranging rod at B, we are taking back bearing of BC line. So those values will be entered in the table. The line is shined and the reading is entered in the table as shown in next slide. These readings are entered in the table as shown in the next slide. So CD line, by placing the instrument and by placing the ranging rod at D and B, we are taking fore bearing of CD, that is 32 degrees 15 minutes, and back bearing of BC, that is 246 degrees 30 minutes has been taken from the station C. And the distance between the station B and C is 115 meters. So these are the traverse lengths. That means The length of the line. Traverse legs means, yeah, the line lengths. So these are the traverse lengths, traverse legs lengths, which are taken by using the tape. By using tape, they are taking the traverse legs length. Then after that, after C, next station is D. You can shift your instrument to the D station. After shifting, you can center it and you can level it. That means you have to do temporary adjustment at each and every station. Okay, after temporary adjustments, you have to take the readings. So after centering, leveling, and adjusting prism, from D station, we are taking forward bearing of DE and back bearing of CD. Forward bearing of DE and back bearing of CD are taken by sighting the ranging rods held at E and C stations respectively. Okay. The line is shown and the reading is entered in the table as shown. These readings are entered in the table as shown in the next slide. So at D station, we are taking as usual two bearings. One is forward bearing and another one is back bearing. Forward bearing of the forward line, that is DE line, and back bearing of the previous line, that is CD line. So that has been taken from D station, and the distance between the traverse legs length is 120 meters. That is from C station to D station, distance is 120 meters, and the forbearing of DE line is 262 degrees 45 minutes, and the back bearing of CD is 210 degrees 30 minutes. So these are the forbearings and back bearings which have been taken from station D. After station D, you can shift your instrument to the station E. After shifting, as usual, you can do the temporary adjustments. After temporary adjustments, the forbearings of EA line and back bearing of DE line are taken by sighting the ranging rods held at D and A stations respectively. Okay, so after temporary adjustments, the forbearing and back bearings of the lines have been taken from station E by sighting the or by placing the ranging rods at station D and station A. The line is chained. So the line is chained and the reading is entered in the table. These readings are entered in the table. So forbearing of DA line, EA line is 230 degrees, 15 minutes, and back bearing of DE line, which is taken from station E, is 80 degrees 45 minutes, and the distance between the D station and E station is 120 meters. So likewise, you have to do the field work. So with that, all 5 stations, from all 5 stations, we have taken forward bearings and back bearings and entered in the table. So you have to note, you have to record the field data like this. Hope you all understood. Is it okay? Yes, simple. So first of all, you have to do the recognitions of the area that has been taken. That is the operations involved in compass survey. After that, you can select the stations. So here I have taken 5 stations, the 5 stations, and the area which is enclosed in between 5 stations. I am now taking the bearings and lens. That is the traverse lens. So first of all, what you have to do, you have to place the instrument at first one station. That is, I have placed the instrument at station A. So from each station, you have to take 2 bearings. One is 4 bearings of the succeeding line and a back bearing of the preceding line. So you have to take 2 bearings from each station. So from A, I have taken 4 bearing of BC line and 4 back bearing of EA line. Likewise, B station, 4 bearing of CD and back bearing of AB. From C, 4 bearing of CD and back bearing of BC. From D, 4 bearing of DE and back bearing of CD. From E, forebearing of EA and back bearing of BA. Likewise, you have to take two bearings, that is four bearings and back bearings from each stations, and you can take the distance between the stations after chaining with the help of either chain or tape. So you can take the distance between the stations, and you can enter the observed bearings in the table. So we have taken all the observed bearings here. Now we can do the calculations. Okay. So checking the observed bearings. Checking the observed bearings. So first of all, what you have to do to check? First of all, we have to take the difference between we have to calculate the difference between the forebearing and back bearings of the traverse line. So the difference of forebearing and back bearing of each traverse line shall be equal to 180 degrees, so that there is no any local attraction effects. If the difference is not equal to 180 degrees, the stations are affected by local attraction. So we know that by comparing the forebearing and back bearing of the every line, we can assume that is there any, whether it is the station, whether the stations are affected by local attraction or not. So line distance, observed forebearings and back bearing, and this is the difference. We can say difference this one. So remarks means these are the difference between the forebearing and back bearing. So we are checking whether the measured values are correct or not. Okay. So line AB, forebearing and back bearing. So the difference between forebearing and back bearing is 178 degrees 30 minutes. Line BC, difference is forebearing back bearing difference is 177 00 minutes. For line CD, difference is 178 degrees 15 minutes. For DE, 182 degrees 45 minutes. For EA, 177 degrees 15 meters. That means there is no lines have the forebearing back bearing difference exactly 180. That means all the stations A, B, C, D and E are affected by local attraction. So then how can we make the correction? So you can make a note here. There is no lines which have forebearing back bearing difference is exactly 180. Hence, all the stations are affected by local attraction. Okay, all the stations are affected by local attractions. When this problem comes, that means there is no line has affected by local attraction. There is no line has been. There is no line has forebearing back bearing exactly 180. Then you can use included angle method. I already explained. So there are two methods to do the correction to the local attractions. One is included angle method and another one is direct method. So in this type of cases, there is no lines which have exactly 180 degrees, means there is no stations are free from local attraction. At that time, you have to use included angle method. Okay, so then we can calculate the included angles from the observed bearings. Okay, so how can we calculate? Yeah, so forebearing of if you deduct the uh, if you deduct yeah, if you deduct the back bearing of the uh, next back bearing of the stations of back bearing which is taken from the stations from the forebearing, then you can get the angle at that place. So bearing angle A is equal forebearing of AB minus back bearing of AE. That gives the angle. So you can use the arrow rule. By arrow rule you can calculate the included angle. This one also I have explained. How can we calculate the included angles also? So like by using that you can First of all, you can calculate the included angles of all stations: angle A, angle B, angle C, and angle D, angle E. So you can calculate. So after that, you have to check whether the all calculated included angles are correct or not. So how can we make check? Yeah. So our sum of all interior angles should be equal to a required sum of the interior angles. What is the required sum of interior angles? So the required sum of the interior angles is equal to 2n minus 4 into 90. Okay. Here n is the number of sides or traverse legs. In our problem, how many traverse legs are there? I mean, how many stations are there? 5 stations. So there are 5 traverse legs. So 2 into 5. In place of n, you can substitute 5 minus 4 into 90. So that is 540 degrees. Okay. So our calculated interior angles, the sum of calculated interior angles would be equal to this 540 degrees. Okay. Then you can add angle A, angle B, angle C, angle D, angle E. All the angles you can add here. So that is the sum is 542 degrees 30 minutes. So that is more than our required sum. So the total error in 5 angles are observed one minus actual one. So that is plus 2 degrees 30 minutes is the magnitude of error. Magnitude of error. So that error has been distributed to all the 5 stations. So plus 2 degrees 30 minutes is the error. So you have to add minus 2 degrees 30 minutes to the all 5 stations. So minus 2 degrees 30 minutes by 5. So this is minus 30 minutes. So minus 30 minutes will be added to all stations. So you can add minus 30 minutes here. 138 degrees 30 minutes minus 30 minutes is equal actual angle A is equal 138. Actual angle B is equal 56. Actual angle C after correction is equal to so this is 145 degrees 15 minutes. Angle D is equal 51 degrees 45 minutes. Angle E is equal to 149 degrees. So these are the actual angles. Okay. So the forebearing, so there is no line has difference between forebearing and back bearing exactly 180. In that time, at the time you have to take the minimum, that least difference. So here the forebearing and back bearing of the line are side AB before the least from 180 degrees. The difference in bearings 180 degrees minus 178 degrees 178 degrees 30 minutes. So that is 1 degree 30 minutes is the difference of the line AB. Correct forebearing of AB is equal to 191 degrees 30 minutes, that is the observed one plus 1 degree 30 minutes by 2. So that is 192 degrees 15 minutes is the correct forebearing of AB line. So by using this one you can calculate other correct bearings of the lines. Corrected forebearing of line AB is equal 192 degrees 15 minutes. You know that 192 degrees 15 minutes is one. So if you know first bearing of the line, so first line bearings, and if you know angles, then how can you calculate the bearings? You know already. I have explained. There is the calculations of bearings from angles. Yeah, right. So you can, if you want to calculate the bearings of the next line, add angle to the previous line bearings so that you can get the value sum. To that sum, if that sum is greater than 180, deduct 180 from it. are less than 180, add 180 to that sum. You know already. So in that process, we will calculate the bearings of R, that is the correct bearings of the all lines from the correct angles. Okay, so correct forebearing of AB line is this one, and angle at B is this one, 56 degrees 00 minutes. After correction, angle correction, the sum is 248 degrees 15 minutes. So 248 degrees 15 minutes is the greater than 180. Hence, deduct 180 from this sum. So 248 degrees 15 minutes minus 180. So the correct forebearing of BC line is equal to 68 degrees 15 minutes. Correct forebearing of BC line is 68 degrees 15 minutes. So from that you can calculate the back bearing of BC line. And then to this correct value, you can add angle C, that is 145 degrees 15 minutes is angle C. So this sum is 213 degrees 30 minutes. So this sum is greater than 180. Hence deduct 180, and the correct forebearing of CD line is 33 degrees 30 minutes. 33 degrees 30 minutes is the correct forebearing of CD line. Then calculate the correct forebearing of DE line. So correct forebearing of CD line is 33 degrees 30 minutes. To this add angle 51 angle B, that is 51 degrees 45 minutes. So the sum is 85 degrees 15 minutes. So this sum is less than 180. Hence add 180 to this sum. Correct forebearing of DE line is 265 degrees 15 minutes. 265 degrees 15 minutes is the correct forebearing of DE line. To this add angle E to this correct forebearing of DE line, add angle E so that you can get the correct forebearing of EA line. The sum is 414 degrees 15 minutes. So this sum is greater than 180. Hence you can deduct 180 from this sum, so that you can get the correct forebearing of EA. So that is 234 degrees 15 minutes is the correct forebearings of EA line. So then you can tabulate all the bearings, correct forebearings and back bearings in that. So these are the correct forebearings which we have calculated from the correct angles. From that you can calculate the back bearing. So how can we calculate back bearing? If forebearing has been given, correct back bearing is equal forebearing plus or minus 180. Same rule. So by using that rule, you can calculate the all back bearings of the lines. So these are the all back bearings, actual or correct back bearings. Now you can see the difference between the forebearing and back bearing. So this is exactly 180. So likewise, you have to make the corrections for local attraction, which we already explained. Okay. So friends, likewise you can make the correction. So like this, we can record the field by taking the field bearings in the field, and we can make the do corrections for local attraction if any stations are affected by local attraction. Likewise, you have to do. If you all understood, is it okay to you? If at all any station is free from local attraction, then you can make the corrections for the other stations, okay, or other lines, right? Then you can use direct method. It is easy to use direct method. Friends, hope you all understood. Is it okay? So likewise, we can do the field recording. Field recording. Hope you all understood. So in today's class, we saw the forebearing and back bearing of each line is observed and entered in the table. The length of traverse lines are measured and entered in the table. Observed bearings are checked for local attraction and necessary corrections applied. Corrected bearings are entered in the table. So these are the corrected bearings. These are all corrected bearings. So likewise, we have to do the field notes. So there are some quiz. You can give the answers. The difference of forebearing and backbearing is equal to 0 degree, 90 degrees, 180 degrees, 270 degrees. What is the answer? So the difference between the forebearing and backbearing must be equal to 180 degrees. If the difference of the forebearing and backbearing is not equal to 180, that means local attraction exists, no local attraction, free from local attraction, 270 degrees. So if the forebearing and backbearing is not equal to 180, that means the stations are affected by local attraction. If the error is positive, then the correction will be negative. So this is the frequently asked question. Same question. So you can do. So there must be a question on your question paper. You have to practice number of times. Then you can attempt. So very easy when you practice number of times, and very difficult when you are not practice number of times. Okay. So you have to practice number of times by taking the sums from other books also. You can do the practice. Okay, hope you all understood. Have you any doubts? If you don't have any doubts, I can wind up here. Okay, thank you all.